The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk Careers with Sara. Tonight and every night, every Wednesday night, I'm here to talk about career advice, career strategies, all sorts of topics, and I am answering your questions that I receive on twitter.com/writing2015. Currently and today, I am going to talk about two topics. One is career transitioning, and another one is interview coaching, interview sessions, so that way it can be intertwined and you can listen. And I am hoping you are ready with a pen and a paper like every Wednesday night in order to take notes and jot down the notes and implement them to your job strategies. And that way I'm looking forward to your successes and how this strategies has helped you. I'm looking forward to your stories. Hello, this is Sara Yusupov. Stop by my show, Let's Talk Careers with Sara, Wednesdays 10 p.m. Eastern, where I will discuss about your dream job, career coaching, answering your questions regarding careers, exclusively on TuneIn Satellite and the Armed Radio Global Networks. Career change is a topic that everyone is kind of like at any age feels that they need to change their career. But career change at 40 and beyond can be scarier than career change at an earlier stage in your career. Why? Because not only do you feel you have more responsibility, you also probably feel you are getting close to retirement and are too old for a change. The stakes are too high to fail at this point in your life, and therefore you feel you had really better get it right, or you might not have time to recover. Yet you wouldn't be here listening to my show if you didn't feel stuck. You're probably having trouble knowing how to make the move, not because you lack the practical skills, like how to interview for a job, but you don't want to leave the stability of your current situation, even if you don't like it, for something or uncertain. After all, with all your responsibilities, how practical does it really feel to jump ahead first into the unknown with no idea which direction you want to go? It seems impossible to figure out. Well, stop that thinking now. Instead, it's time to get excited. You can figure out what you want to do next. Not only that, but a career change now can be better than at any other time in your life too. Think about this. You have more freedom to do what you want on your own terms than you have at any other point in your career. Anything you lack in energy will be made up for in skill, wisdom, and experience. And if you are not that likely to make all the mistakes you are afraid you are going to make, because your decision is going to be a well thought out one. It's because you are more mature, have responsibilities, and need to get this right that you are going to take your career change seriously. You are going to get the right resources, network with the right people, and get the right skills before you do anything big. And that's why you are here, listening to this podcast in order for you to get the answer that you are looking for. So let's take a look at how this all works. Making the move. A career change at this point in your life into doing what you love is a transition, not a flying leap. For people with responsibilities like you and me, taking a flying leap into something we think we'll love just isn't going to happen. Sure, you might fantasize about telling your boss that you are quitting today, but you can't do that. Well, you could, but you wouldn't like the consequences much. For some people who really, really hate their jobs, they do up and quit, but that's a special circumstance. But here's the thing, the good news. You don't have to take that flying leap. What you are going to do mostly is forget what you have seen about a dramatic resignation or about leaving everything behind to live in a community in an island or beach. Doing what you love is a reality for people with responsibilities, just as much as it is for the 20-somethings without any. It just looks a little different. You'll have to plan an exit strategy. You'll have to know what you're getting yourself into. You'll have to have financial security the entire time. It can still be done. Every person's situation is different, but the three elements above, the three elements that described, exit strategy, knowing what you're getting into, financial security, will be huge factors in the transition. Here are the things to think about with regard of each one. So let's go over them in more details. I need you to be ready with a pen and a paper in order to jot down some notes. The exit strategy. For some people, whatever comes next is something they can ramp up while they are still working steadily. For some, their current job may allow them to wind down while their new job gains momentum. And for others, still they must work, save, plan, and strategize for a while as they work towards making the move more fully at some future date. Think about which of these is right for you. In any case, you are going to be working a main job for at least a little while as you transition. One very difficult thing to do is to remain focused and positive at a job you don't like while you make the move. It can help to remember that this job is serving a function. It's allowing you at least the financial stability to make the move to something better. Hold on that emotionally so you can survive if your current work situation has gotten very difficult. Also, if you need a job for a while as your dream job or business is in the works, you might consider doing something else in the interim. For example, if you're a qualified sales and marketing rep, but you hate your company, go find work somewhere else as you build your business. There is no need to suffer at a particular job any longer than you have to. Knowing what you are getting yourself into, knowing what you are getting means that you will have to, as much as possible without being psychic, know what the next situation is likely to hold for you. If you are making a transition and there are things that you could have or should have predicted that end up being problems, you are going to kick yourself. So start by doing your research and thinking from the end. So here's an example I see quite often. Many people come to me thinking they want to start a business, doing something, usually something like coaching or being a yoga instructor or some other helping professional. But after a little work together, what we discover is that while they love the coaching, yoga, helping aspect, they don't really like the business aspect, nor do they believe they have the skills to be successful. They don't enjoy marketing. They don't want to work long hours. They don't want to be on the hook the way small business owners are financially. Once they have figured out what they would have been getting into, they realize the path they were heading down was actually not right for them. They reconsider taking the helping skills that they do love to use and reapplying them in a way that they feel fine, enriching, and not draining. You have to think about your situation and know what you are going to be getting yourself into. Does it feel right for you? Now, financial security. I believe this one is pretty self-explanatory. You never want to feel like you don't know where your next paycheck is coming from, whether you are transitioning to a new job or starting a business. Many people are tempted to quit jobs they hate so they can focus full-time on starting a business or looking for a new job. I would never say you shouldn't. There is something to be said for putting it all in line and not giving yourself an out. When it has to get done, it often finds a way. But sometimes the financial stress of that situation is too much. It can squash the creative energy you have, wreak havoc on your sleep and health, and generally leave you in a worse place than when you started. You'll have to think long and hard about this decision and how you operate under pressure, and also what your current financial situation is like and how bad the stress at work is for you. Sometimes making it happen is not just about wanting it bad enough. There are things outside of our control that can go wrong, and giving ourselves such a small margin for success may be too stressful. Therefore, use your experience. Don't lose it. Many of you are probably thinking about moving to a career in a completely new field. And at this point in your career, you've gained skills and expertise that you don't want to leave behind. Luckily for you, you don't always have to kiss them goodbye. There may be a powerful intersection of your skills and your new field, or there may simply be a way in which you see your new field from the perspective of someone who already has earned her stripes. But the perfect intersection of what you're trained to do and what you would love to do. What is the perfect intersection for that? Are there any similarities or skills that translate? Even if the fields seem completely dissimilar, looking for higher level skills like leading large groups, teaching, public speaking, etc., can still translate and be valuable to an employer. No matter what, you'll be bringing something novel to the situation. That means you'll have a chance to see your situation in a new way and be the one to bring fresh ideas and insights to work, and might be in dire need of innovation from someone passionate about making improvements. When it's just you running your own business, you'll find that you've probably got what it takes, and any gaps that need filling in terms of skills or experience can be quickly filled. You will figure it out. You are much higher up on the food chain now, even if you decide to make a move to a totally different industry. You have years of experience in the workforce that will serve you well no matter what you end up doing. So, you need to be doing something meaningful to you. If you are looking to make a career change now, it might be because you just don't like your job or are tired of your industry. But it might be because you're ready at this point in your life to do something that means more to you than just a paycheck. But if you're like many people, having the desire to do something more meaningful doesn't mean you know what that meaningful something is. So how do you find it? Ask yourself, what do you want to do next? This may sound like a simple question, but many of us overlook the fact that our desires can drive things like our careers. We are taught that careers and finances are serious business, and that wants and feelings are to be kept out of it. Even if you don't believe this completely, there is still probably a part of you that was taught this. So you resist doing what you want to do because you believe it's impractical, but it doesn't have to be by definition. So start here, thinking about what you want, and then see if you can figure out how you can get you paid. I recognize that taking on that one statement, what you want to do, might take you months or years to fully tackle. But if there's one thing that stops you from moving forward with something you already find meaningful, it's fear. Whether you are at the very beginning of doing what you love, just trying to find your passions and define your dream, or if you are on the other end, starting to make it happen, I'm sure of one thing. You are afraid. but you are not as afraid of going for it as you think you are, because there's an even greater fear than going after your dream. And that's never going after it. Imagine it. When it really is too late, you look back and you think about what a shame it is that you wasted all your potential, gave away all your time to things you didn't care about, and never saw what might have been. The fears related to going for it are usually fears about failure or success, or fears about what people will say. But I challenge you to really think about it. Which difficulty would you rather come up against? The pain of regret, which you can't do anything about, or the struggles related to making your dream happen? Thought so. When you don't know what you are looking to do, people will often encourage you to try to find your passions. To me, passions are activities that get us fired up. They are often the tools we use to accomplish our mission. Our mission, sometimes called our purpose, or our why, is the thing we want to accomplish in our lifetime or be engaged with during our life. Our mission is the thing that makes us feel at home or on purpose, and without it, we feel a little lost in life, like we are drifting and like there is something we should be doing, but we don't quite know what it is. I think people often say they want to find their passion when what they are truly seeking is your mission. Passions without mission can be fun, but they sometimes lack a deeper meaning. This is why passions can seem all over the place. We have too many, we sometimes get bored of them. They can lack the substance of mission. Mission can be an overarching life goal that can take on many different forms during one's lifetime. For example, one might be a lifelong teacher, and the form that takes on may look different at the different points in life. Finding your mission looks a little different for everyone, which is why a one-size-fits-all prescription is so difficult to create. Just like in therapy, no two client experiences are the same, but in therapy there's an overarching framework of how therapy works, which consists of building an alliance with the client and helping them rewrite their negative story into a more positive one. The same is true for finding your mission, though the framework is different. One of the elements for the framework is that your whole life up until this point has been leading you to it. It can feel very difficult to see until you find it, and then it's like it was staring you in the face the whole time. An intense and personal approach to finding your passion and your mission, like coaching, helps you because it is much easier for someone to see this from an outside perspective than it is to spot these patterns from inside your own life. You have heard over and over that passion is what you should be looking for in a career. And I have nothing at all against passion. In fact, I think when we feel passionate about things, we are able to go that extra mile. We have the burning intrinsic desire to do something because it's fun. But when it comes to building a great career, you have to think about more than just fun. You have to think about who you are as a person and what means something to you. And that's why this has all been so hard to figure out. The reason is that you have never been forced to define yourself. Am I right? You have never been forced to define yourself, so you don't really know who you are. You may disagree with me. After all this time on earth, you probably think you know. But I'm not talking about things like whether you enjoy art or accounting. I'm not even talking about things like your Myers-Briggs type of on how many years of therapy you've been in. I'm saying you still don't know what resonates with your soul. That's why I get so many emails asking me, how do I come up with good business ideas? And the truth is, I have no idea. Because I don't know what a good idea is for you. Sure, I can help you discover it, but I can't just pull it out on my hat like a floppy-eared rabbit. Something that might be dazzlingly fun for me could make you shake in your boots. And the thing that would be a dream come true for you would make me want to pee my pants in fear, or make me think about gouging my eyes out because I'm so bored. Before you can find the thing, you have to know yourself, and not just your personality, your soul too. You have gotten here to the point in your life when choosing what you want to do with yourself is on the horizon, and now you're drawing a complete blank, or nearly complete. Hey, I did it too. It's human nature, I think. Until you are faced with a question of what would you do if you could do anything, you don't really know what you would do. We're never really taught to think about it. But now that you are there, or nearly there, to a place where you have to decide what you would do if you could do anything, maybe because of impeding retirement, maybe because you are smart about your money and can afford to downshift to a less demanding career, or maybe because you just hate your job so much you would rather take a flying leap into an unknown than stay another year. You realize you have only a hazy idea of what's next for you. So how do you actually answer? But now that you are there, or nearly there, or place where you have to decide what you would do if you could do anything, maybe because of impeding retirement, maybe because you are smart about your money and can afford to downshift to a less demanding career, ask yourself, how do you actually answer the question, what would you do if you could do anything? Most people will tell you that you need to find your passion. I think it's important, but in truth, I don't think it's the right place to start, because passion is fickle. It will leave you as fast as your steamy young Italian lover, and then be back again in the next day, pleading with you and swearing its undying love, and just leaves you confused. Instead, why not try and define yourself? Passion is about what you love to do, but purpose, who you are, what matters to you, or what you want to do with yourself, or more narrowly, your career, is more about meaning. When you think about who you are, what matters, or what gives you meaning, what comes up for you? What is your reason for being? Your why? Of course, if the question were easy to answer, we wouldn't struggle with it for so long. So what is happening? Sometimes we're just afraid of being seen by others or seeing ourselves. There are lots of reasons why we find parts of ourselves difficult to face. So we keep those parts buried. Sometimes we're listening too closely to others and not closely enough to ourselves. Perhaps we're afraid of being called upon to be brilliant, and so instead of stepping into our greatness, we delude ourselves into thinking we have no idea what we're here to do. But to find your purpose, you must do the opposite. Be brave. See yourself. And when you think you've seen all that you believe there is to see, find someone smarter and more insightful and braver than you, who loves you enough to tell you the things you don't want to hear about yourself, but that you have to hear it in order to grow into the person you are meant to be. Uncover those parts. Listen to yourself and see who you are. All of it. Do that work, because when it's done, what's left is a real understanding of who you are and what you have to offer. Embrace your brilliance. Step into your greatness. Feel your way toward what actually matters to you. Not what feels fun, not even what feels exciting, but towards what feels kick you in the gut. This is it. I have to do these experiences that tell you, if I don't do this, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and I'll regret it forever. When you get that feeling, you know you're on the path toward your purpose. No matter how much I talk about purpose and meaning, its prettier younger sister is always going to be passion, and it just gets more attention. Maybe it's just me, but I'd say there's been a movement lately. A movement all around how to live a passion-based life. And with any rebellion, there starts to become rules about how to do it right. Rules about how to rebel, which is sort of silly. because isn't the point of the rebellion to do your own thing in the first place? Whether or not you know it, you've become aware of few rules about the right and wrong way to do this passion-based life thing. And doing it wrong gives you a lot of anxiety. I know that it doesn't. It does, because I get a lot of emails from you, all with questions and concerns about these things. I want to break the rules of the passion-based life so that you know you don't have to do it the way they say you do, but that you can make up your own rules. Let's commence with the rule breaking now. Passion rule number 1. You need to have just one passion, and there is more than one. You have to find a way to condense them all into one to have a successful career doing what you love. Wrong. Life is just too full of interesting things not to be multi-passionate, if you ask me. And the truth is, you don't necessarily have to choose just one thing to be the next thing you do in your career. It may be that you are able to easily do more than one thing you are passionate about in a single job. Or, for example, I get to coach and write and be creative in the work I do. But if that doesn't work out for you, don't worry. Life will allow you to do everything you're passionate about in time. Maybe you won't be everything as a career. Some things you will take up as hobbies, some as aspects of your career, and some as major career focuses at different times in your life. Also, if there's one thing that's constant, it's change. So if you're looking forward to the day when you get to live out some passionate dream you have, keep working towards the planning for it. Your career can morph into the direction you choose to take it. Don't fear that your passion has to be singular and static. Passion is a living and breathing thing. Passion rule number 2. My passions won't or can't make me a lot of money. Nope. This simply isn't true. Why should it be? Because many of us are passionate about things that are artistic or are some way softer. We automatically equate that with the idea that we're going to be doing what we do for love, not for money. If this is what you want, there's no problem with that. But if you want to find a way to make your passion pay your bills, there is every reason to think that it's possible. The secret, yes, I'm spilling the beans here, is to structure your business so that it actually makes you money, and to weigh what you give up in doing so in terms of passion, if anything, against what you gain in terms of income, to find the sweet spot for you. With some creativity and deep thinking about what is really right for you, you can structure a business that supports both your passion and your lifestyle. Passion rule number 3. To follow my passions, I must live an unconventional, nomadic, or location-independent life. Not unless you want to. Geez, this one really irks me. I get a little frustrated with this one model of passion-based living, which is the location-independent lifestyle. Now, maybe you're ready to pick up and leave everything behind if you just knew what one thing you really, really wanted to do. Maybe if you sat straight up out of bed tomorrow and it hit you like a thunderbolt, you'd pack your bags as quick as you could and head for whatever exotic and sweaty location you were called to carry out your mission. But I'm guessing probably not. I'm guessing that there is more that ties you to wherever you live than just not being 100% entirely sure of what comes next for you. There's probably a family of some sort, friends, obligations, financial, and otherwise. And given all that, it would probably take you a while to make this transition to the thoughtful and adult manner that you make transitions and decisions in. Do you worry that all this level-headedness makes you too rational? Do you sometimes think that you should pack your bags as fast as possible and be spontaneous? I think that only really works in the movies. It's not all it's cracked up to be. The real path to fulfillment is not in being rash, but in being honest about your values, your needs, and about who you are and how you feel comfortable moving through your life. Honor all of that. Don't think there is only one model for embracing passionate life. You could take on a passionate life one step at a time from right where you are. Passion rule number 4. I can't start a business or get a job with my passions because I'm not an expert. Really? First of all, chances are you're probably more expert than you give yourself credit for. Second, even if you have some learning to do, there is no reason you can't do it. You may decide that you don't want to make the investment it would take to become a doctor or at this point in your career, but that doesn't mean a career in medicine is out of your reach. Whatever it is that you yearn to do, you can find a way to do it and gain the skills and credentials you need to be paid to do it. Passion rule number 5. It's too late. This one really is a matter of choice. As mentioned in passion-based rule number 4, you might decide you don't want to take certain choices or sacrifices at this point in your life. And that makes complete sense. If it's something you want to be, and if you want so bad that you are just distraught, that it feels too late, then you need to do everything in your power to make it happen, because no one wants to live with that kind of regret. But if not, think about it this way. It's just life narrowing your choices. Thank you, life. Because the number of choices really is overwhelming anyway. Passion rule number 6. I don't know how to start with passion-based business or job. Maybe you don't know how to start now, but what about after you do a little research? What if you enlist some help in the form of family, friends, or coaching? What if you put together a business plan or job search strategy? And any big undertaking feels big until we tackle it systematically. We often need a plan, some help, and more than one tool in our toolkit. Passion rule number 7. It's too disruptive to my life and family. What's more disruptive? This move or your regret? If making this move were a problem you had to solve, you would find a way to solve it, right? Well, think of it as a problem of that magnitude. Because living with regret, the never having done, the might-haves, and the missed experiences of not solving it are just not acceptable. Often the disruptions that happen in lives and families because of moves like this can be managed and minimized. In fact, they can also often be seen as fun, new adventures too. But whatever twists and turns life takes, staying stagnant because of your family or some other part of your life doesn't have to be the final resolution. Passion rule number 8. I don't know what I want to do, or what I think I want to do isn't really all that original or earth-shattering. You can figure it out what you want to do. Listen, I know you probably feel like you have beaten your head against the wall about it, but I worked with enough people who were in exactly that spot who then got clarity to know that it can be done. You need to look at what you like or love doing or are passionate about, but don't get too caught up in that and let go of fears around it. You have to go down rabbit holes, ask questions, make mistakes, back up and try again. But eventually, by feeling your way forward toward what is right for you, you will find something that probably feels like it's been there all along in one form or the other. Some people worry that they have a business idea, but it's not completely new. That's fine. In fact, that's a good, because it shouldn't be completely new. You don't want to reinvent the business model. Just improve how you do business so people want to do business with you. Even a small improvement on an idea can make all the difference. And sometimes it's people's level of passion in the idea that is that special something. Maybe no one has told you until now, but you don't have to play by the rules. You get to make up your own rules. When it comes to living a passion-based life, it really is about doing what works for you. So, I hope that I have shown you that while making a career move might require planning and personal exploration, it's not impossible. You probably found me through LinkedIn, through Facebook, through Instagram, through Twitter, and Your major concern is probably that your relative age and inexperience in your new career are a double whammy. The truth is, only your inexperience really matters, and luckily, that's the one you can do something about it. And why? Because people your same age with experience can find jobs. The higher level jobs, the ones that require a great deal of experience, are going to pay more and be harder to land. And of course, you can't get years of experience without years. So it follows that people filling these jobs will be older. The complete newbies are landing entry-level jobs. To compete against them is difficult because they are young and they don't need the paycheck you need. So it makes sense that the jobs you are doing after will need you to have some experience in your new field to be considered competitive. Going into this move, one big question is anyone going to hire me? The answer to that question will depend a great deal on what you do right now. Know that to be a competitive, you may need to gain some experience in your new field. You may need to get training. There may be other things to consider. That's why it's really great that you are here right now listening to my show. It shows that you are taking this process seriously and seeking information about how this process might work. You are also open to the idea that you can learn things that will improve your chances of success, which, believe it or not, is a huge indication that you can be successful. You already believe in your ability to make a difference in your own outcome. So let's embark on this journey together and see what we discover about you, about what's next for you, about what you need to do to get there. So, I have Career Readiness Workshop scheduled on August 19, and that is next Monday. And this workshop is actually going to be scheduled every 3 months. So it's quarterly basis, 4 times a year. And you will learn a lot about it. There are intimate coaching calls limited to 40 people where I can facilitate a group talking about career change, answering questions, and coaching individuals in the group setting. So we will lay the ground rules before we start. It will be an incredible opportunity to learn and get coaching around your career change for a very affordable price. So you can learn more and register at bit.ly/career readiness workshop. So I am looking forward to your questions. Let me know if you have a question, want to schedule coaching, if you just got fabulous idea, want to share a resource, or if something I sent you made you think. I'm here to help you any way I can. So let me know what I can do for you. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Let's Talk Careers with Sara, or you can message me in my email, Let's Talk Careers with Sara@gmail.com. I'm looking forward to working with you. Hello, this is Sara Yusupov. Stop by my show, Let's Talk Careers with Sara, Wednesdays 10 p.m. Eastern, where I will discuss about your dream job, career coaching, answering your questions regarding careers, exclusively on TuneIn Satellite and the Armed Radio Global Networks. Congrats! After submitting applications to dozens of employers, you finally get an invite to interview for a position you are excited about. The excitement of the call may quickly transition into nervousness for some or confidence for others, but no matter what, preparation is the key to success. Have you ever been caught off guard by a brain teaser interview question you couldn't answer? Or has an interviewer's personality just not meshed well with your own? As confident as you may be with your experience, it's common to be nervous a little bit. So, it's common to be thrown curveballs during any interview. The real test lies in your ability to impress your prospective employer and differentiate yourself from your competition at each stage of the interview process. While interviews can be a nerve-wracking experience, it's usually the only way to get hired. So you need to ensure you're always putting your best foot forward, whether you're looking for some quick tips on how to handle a phone interview or are wondering how to answer some tricky interview questions. So I will cover it all tonight. So first is initial phone or video screening. Then it's research, and then it's questions to be prepared for, and then it's questions to ask your interviewer, and then interview and the next step. So let's start with initial phone or video screening. While the initial phone or video screening might seem like a simple formality, it's the first time the interviewer will put a voice to your resume. Since these initial screenings typically last anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes, you need to be prepared, well-spoken, and engaged in order to impart a positive impression and get a call back for an in-person interview. Here's what you need to do before your screening to ensure you come off as a strong candidate. First, be ready. You have the opportunity to keep essential materials in front of you, so take advantage of it. Be sure to set yourself up with the right materials before your interview, including resume, pen and paper, details about the company or position, talking points. Then check equipment. Don't let technological implications be the reason why you were passed over for an opportunity. To avoid this, make sure you are in a setting void of distractions and that any equipment you intend on using is working properly. Your checklist should include fully charged phone or computer, strong connection, self-service or Wi-Fi for programs like Skype or FaceTime, and then proper microphone, camera placement. And then know the basics. The more basic information you know about the company, the easier it will be to portray yourself as a well-informed candidate. Pay special attention to mission statement, company culture, and business initiatives. And then speak articulately. Practicing your response out loud can help you speak more confidently. Avoid using filler for words such as like, and focus on your voice, your tone, your delivery. Then the next step will be research. A successful phone or video screening will typically lead to an invitation for a face-to-face interview. However, the due diligence you take to learn more about the employer can make a big difference in the impression you give off. For starters, focus on the more important elements of the interview, including about the employer, the company, review the company's website, get accustomed to their product services, and take a look at some online review sites. The interviewer, take a look at the persons you will be meeting with you on LinkedIn, and having a general idea about their background could provide you with some good talking points throughout the interview. Then their social media presence. Perusing the company's social media page, Twitter, Facebook, etc., will not only give you a better feel for their reputation but also give you a better sense of the company culture and your general level of interest in the position. Then take role. Although you reviewed the role when you initially applied, make sure you do an in-depth review of the goals and responsibilities of the job prior to your interview. Then about you, your resume. Review your resume in detail to ensure you can speak fluently about your background without having to read from it during the interview. Your transportation, whether you are relying on public transportation or your own vehicle to get to the interview, plan your travel time accordingly and give yourself extra time in case there are any uncontrollable delays. Then the next step would be questions to be prepared for. In addition to researching the company in great detail, you should make sure you are prepared to answer some commonly asked questions. Some questions may seem related to the role, while others are meant to test you or gauge your personality. But no matter what, employers want to see how you can think on your feet. In order to prepare yourself, make sure you know how to answer some of these common interview questions. Are you ready? Take a pen and paper and write them down. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Don't try to skirt around the question with a cliche Humbleberg like, I'm too much of a perfectionist. Pick out your real, honest flaws and explain how you are working on improving them. No one is perfect, after all. Next question. What are your short-term goals and long-term goals? By defining that, it will help you to understand what is this. A good answer addresses how you would like to help the organization in the long run and explain how that would accomplish your personal goals. Then, why should I hire you? Point out your strength as it pertains to key elements of the role at hand. Be sure to strike a balance between self-confidence and arrogance. The next question is, why are you leaving your current employer? Rather than focusing on what your employer has done wrong, first share what you appreciate about them. Follow this by explaining what you are looking to get out of your next opportunity. Never, ever, ever badmouth your past employers, because they are going to think that you are going to badmouth them as well. Next, have you ever been involved in a workplace conflict? If so, how was it resolved? Key indicators that a conflict was resolved well include remaining calm, listening carefully to the other party, and reaching a compromise together. And the next question is, what do you like to do for fun? List 2 to 3 things that you enjoy doing outside of work. They should reflect your personality and show that you have interests aside from what you do professionally. Now it is your turn. Questions to ask your interviewer before they ask you. Now it's your turn to ask them. So, question to ask your interviewer. Remember, an interview is a two-way street. Although you are being evaluated, it's just as important to determine whether this is the right role or company for you. Ask informed questions to learn as much as possible about the role and your responsibilities. Questions you can ask, such as, what are some qualities this person should possess in order to be successful in the role? This question gives you a glimpse into the soft skills or traits needed to perform well in this position. This is not only helps you to evaluate if you are a good fit, but it also shows the hiring manager you are ambitious and strive to be a top performer. Next question, what are your long-term goals of the department and company? This answer can paint a clearer picture of the company's future, so you can decipher that's the direction that you want your career to go in as well. Then the next one is, how would you describe the company culture? You'll want to learn about the ways your prospective employer treats and rewards its employees, and this information can help you decide whether or not you'll be happy in the position. Next question, how would you plan to deal with blank? Since every manager possesses a different management and communication style, this question gives you an opportunity to see how your employer would react in a hypothetical situation. Next question, can you tell me about a project or experience in your time here that you are extremely proud of? You'll get the chance to see what your prospective manager is passionate about, which will help you to shape your own opinion on how the role can be meaningful or impactful. Now keep in mind, there are questions you should avoid asking early on, as they may make you appear unprepared or unprofessional. The first 3 questions are what exactly does your company do? Asking questions where the answers are easily accessible from a quick internet search will not help your chances of getting a call back. The next question, what do you usually offer candidates at this level in compensation and benefits? Questions related to compensation or benefits should come later in the interview process. Asking too early may make you come off as entitled or arrogant. And the last question would be, do you do criminal background checks and drug screens before you hire candidates? Asking questions about preliminary tests that aren't directly related to the role might raise some red flags about your past. So avoid those 3 questions and really think and evaluate about before you're asking any questions. Next is interview and the next steps. While a strong resume and successful pre-screen will get your foot in the door, portraying the right professional attributes and skills during the face-to-face interview helps to improve that you are in the right fit for the position. So pay close attention to the following areas. During the interview, make a good impression, a good first impression. You can't change someone's first impression of you, so take the time to arrive early, dress professionally, and greet your interviewer with a smile and strong handshake. Then, exuding confidence. Make sure you sit up straight, make eye contact, and answer questions concisely. Perfecting your body language. Your nonverbal communication can say a lot about you, so make sure you avoid slouching, yawning, or fidgeting. Showing off your personality. Employers are trying to get a feel for whether or not you are a good fit for the company culture or the team you will be joining. So showing elements of your personality is important. That is during the interview. Now let's discuss about after the interview. Before you leave, make sure the interviewer has all the information they need. You are clear on next steps. And professional references. Reach out to them to ensure they are aware that they may be contacted. And writing samples. If you are required to submit a writing sample, portfolio, or any additional documents, be sure to proofread everything for grammar or spelling. And then a thank you note. Always send a short personalized thank you note to the interviewers within 24 hours of your interview to show your gratitude for the opportunity. Now, have you been working with a recruiter? If a recruiter has coordinated your interview for you, they will most likely facilitate all the conversations outlining on those interview tips. So if you are in need of help with your interview skills, I have had candidates who had struggled to interview. And it's numerous times that they think they can nail it because it's very simple. You get a call, you come in, you do what they ask, you follow directions, but at the same time, you are not getting a job. So numerous times I had candidates who come to me and asking help for why they did not get a job, why they're going for an interview and yet they don't get a job. They smile, they're nice, and the candidates cannot seem and recognize the body language to see their facial expressions about if they are happy or unhappy of the answers. For me, I do career coaching and I do interview coaching. Usually an interview coaching lasts one session. However, some need more. And with one session, when I work one-on-one with you, it's basically we're going to discuss about in depth what exactly worked for you, what exactly you answering. I'm going to ask you questions because I need to know what is not working for you. What are you answering? And I will answer, and we will do a mock-up interview. That means we're going to role play. I will be the interviewer and you will be the candidate, and then we're going to switch roles. That means I'm going to provide you the questions, you're going to ask me, and I am as a candidate going to answer them. I will teach you how to take control of the interview so they know you are not the only one who needs to get a job, but they are not the only ones who need to make a decision, but you also need to make a decision if this company is right for you or not. And you portray that and you showcase that, and they are going to like you, they are going to love you. It only takes one session with me, one-on-one. You need to email me, letstalkcareerswithsara@gmail.com, and we can portray that together. Or you can call 646-371-6242 and leave me a message, and we will book together an appointment for interview sessions. I had great results. I had candidates who were happy and they got a job within a week. It all depends on you, how committed you are, how dedicated you are, and how much time you're putting in for yourself. It's an investment that is worth it. So you can call me 646-371-6242 or email me letstalkcareerswithsarah@gmail.com. And for those of you who are listening to me, I am looking forward for you to show up in my career readiness workshop, and I will be glad to see you there, to meet you in person. All the information will be given shortly. If you like this episode, please follow and share it with others. Join my group on Facebook called Let's Talk Careers Inner Circle. If you would like to be featured on my show, let me know in the group. And I have an event coming up, Career Readiness Workshop. It's on August 20 at 7:30 p.m. You will learn about job strategies, interview skills, and this will be your opportunity to network with others. More details on bit.ly/career readiness workshop.